Hello everybody, welcome back. This is Tech Medic. Thank you for joining me. We're going to be talking about farming and how to make your setup easier so that you're all condensed up and stacked up with your pallets of growing platforms. We're going to talk about how to do this with one reliable method. As there are many other methods, we're going to talk about some of the farming essentials later on in the video, like what kind of pallets you should use, what kind of traits and things like that. But let's go ahead and talk about stacking these pallets because it's going to save you a lot of real estate, especially when you're trying to do something like a stacked 3-story building in which you have the infrastructure on the bottom dedicated to yourself, second for manufacturing, and of course farming, ranching, and all that good stuff on the 3rd level, so you can open up your own little Pizza Hut. So with that, let's go ahead and talk about the stacking methods. Okay, one of the first things that we're going to need is the Japanese style furniture set. Inside of this set, we're going to get a seating pillow, and that seating pillow is going to be unlocked at level 55 technology. With that, we can go into our furniture tab and see that we have the floor cushion, which is going to cost us some cloth as well as fiber. And this is going to be the simplest thing that we're going to use, and we're going to use it as an anchor. Okay, so we're here at this small stack of berries, and the reason why we have this berry patch here is because it's close to one of our ranches. We need to use the stacking and snapping feature of these plots. So with this, we're going to go ahead and erase all of these. Now you're going to notice that this pillar is here. This is going to be our snapping point, especially if we are operating close to any other facility here. So with that, that'll allow us to go ahead and snap our little berry farm right here. As you can see, these regular vegetable plots are too big to put over right next to it, and if we were to go ahead and snap them right here, it would extend and still try to clip in. That's why we have these separated. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and place our pillar, whichever one you want, and it's in foundations. You can use any one of these pillars. It doesn't have to be this exact formulation, but you just need something that's going to sit on the edge of a wall or right up against a wall. It's important to keep this thing in place because this is going to allow you to snap things from the bottom all the way to the top of it. But remember, we do not want to extend this past 6 levels. That means that there's 2 onion plots and 4 wheat plots on this stack. The reason being is that some of these pals will eventually get on top of this. They will get stuck and they will start spamming their background script trying to renegotiate a path off the stack. With that, the AI will eventually get overwhelmed with so many requests that your actual game will start to bog down. So keep that in mind. Alright, now let's get to the stacking portion. We're going to go ahead and go into our food. We're going to select our berry, and whatever your snap key is on Xbox or PlayStation, use that. On PC, it is Control. Just look at the pillar or the wall and it'll snap. You can go ahead and extend that to whatever you want, but we need this right up against that pillar. So we're going to do that, and we're going to snap it down. You can either build it yourself or wait for your pals to come in and help you. After that's complete, what we want to do is we want to grab this Japanese floor cushion, and we want to place it as dead center as we possibly can. Okay, do not hold the control key and snap it. As you can see, it will not do that. And just to verify, you cannot look up and snap these without some sort of platform. That's why this pillow is so important. So let's go ahead and grab that pillow, toss it down right there. We're going to go ahead and build it, and we're going to go into our food. And now you're going to see that this is going to happen, especially if you do hold the control key and you're trying to do this. It's not going to do anything. What you need to do at this point is you need to look up. Okay, by looking up, this will auto snap. If it's still giving you the red error, move back. You might be in the hitbox of this actual growing platform, and you can go ahead and look up and it should snap into place. By looking at the pillar and holding control with that little pillow right there, it's going to serve as a buildable support platform. So that's why we're doing it that way. Again, we can go ahead and toss down another pillow. We can go ahead and wait for that to get built. Go back into our food, look at the pillar again, and snap that right on. With these ones, you're going to get that weird wonky nature like no tomorrow, and the higher this platform gets, you're going to see how difficult it is. So we're going to go ahead and remove one of those. As you can see, the platform has a pillow right in the center. As center as you can get it, doesn't have to be perfect, but just make sure that it's right in the center. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and choose the onion platform again. And as you can see, this is pretty tall, but if we can get the lip of this background wall, if these pals didn't get in the way, you can see that all of that's there. And there's my pal from the other one transferred through the global pal box, in case some of you guys are like, oh my god, well, how did he get that big old thing? Well, he's just here. Anyway, look at your wall, drag down, they'll snap, they will go ahead and build it. And remember, not higher than 6 platforms. Otherwise, you run the risk of getting a pal stuck up here. So with that, these pals will be able to go ahead and water everything, grow everything, harvest everything, and it'll open up your base's footprint immensely. There are no mods for this. This is an in-game exploit, if you want to call it that. Go for it. Play the way that you want to play. It's your game. Have fun. Okay, for some of you newcomers, you're going to be noticing that we have ranches here. These ranches will be set up in a way that you can go ahead and put different creatures in them. And in order to go ahead and assign a creature an actual workspace, you need to come over here. So with this, you're going to see V and C, or whatever it says on Xbox and PlayStation, and set worker preferences. That is individually for what kind of work you want your jack of all trade pals to do. As you can see here, we have a restless wanderer, in which he can do a whole bunch of stuff, but we're just going to schedule him for mining. And of course, like, you got a bunch of good handcrafters over here. You've got some electrical generators over here. But most notably, we have our planters. What do we want our planters to do? We do not want them at all to go and work on any handcrafting. That is working at a workstation, crafting things like computers, microchips, polymers, ammunition, armor, weapons, things of that sort. So we want all of our growers, which are these guys, to be jack of all trades, obviously, because Patelia is one of those, and Lylene is one of those, which is really good. They have very high at level 5 over here. And of course, we got Lylene, which is at level 8 here. Really good pals to have. So with that, we want to allow them to go ahead and transport the vegetables that they grow, which is this icon here. And of course, we have this one unlocked. We do not want any of these ladies to go ahead and make medicine. We just want them to harvest. We want them to grow. And we want them to battle in case we get a raid of some sort. And of course, transport things. So we're going to unlock that there. The next thing that you're going to want to get is a bunch of ganglers. Ganglers are really good pals to get. They are considered sleepless. That means that they will work 24/7 watering plants back and forth. They will only water, they will only transport, and of course battle on your behalf. With that, we can go ahead and have these guys work. Now you're probably asking, alright, well, how can we get the sleepless trait on many of these other pals? Well, let's go ahead and talk about that. But first, what we are going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and assign our ranch pals. So how do we do that? We exit there. We go ahead and do C for fixed assignments. And you can put all sorts of pals in here. You can put pals that will get you pal liquids, which is a good one. You can put pals that will get you high quality cloth. Highly recommend that you get that path going. But in this case, we're using Mazzarina for milk. And of course, you can get wool, you can get coins, you can get spheres even that you throw to catch the pals. You can get a number of different items. but most people put in the bees for honey, and of course Mazarina for milk, Chiquipi for eggs, so that you can start building your cake out in order to go ahead and start breeding pals. So really good to have a ranch, at least 3 of them, so that you have some sort of pal liquid coming in, because that's always a resource. Wool at the very least, and like I said, you know, pal that was gonna go ahead and do some functionality when it comes to baking cake. With that, we're gonna go ahead and jump over and talk about the surgery table. So the surgery table over here is unlocked at level 38 in your technology tree. And as you can see here, it is right there. So this is going to cost you some refined ingots, high quality cloth, as well as some corrosive solvent. But this thing is going to be awesome because when you get it, you're going to get the chance to go ahead and select one of your pals, as we can go ahead and pull one of our worker pals out from rotation here. So let's go ahead and take her out, Lylene. And by approaching the table and clicking on Lylene, we're going to need a couple of things, okay? So, first off, we get all of these different abilities. These are traits that will be up to 4 on a pal. As you can see here, she's already got 1 Spirit Emperor. We can replace that with a different one. What we're going to do is we're going to give her 3 traits. We're going to give her Serious, and of course it's going to take some gold. And we can click on that spot and edit. And we can say, yes, we can give that one Serious. It does not take a slot because these ones are already built into the surgery table. However, you're going to see things like this, which you have to learn them. And there's also disposable, pal traits that you can get as well from vendors, as well as from the world tree with the ancient relic recycler. When you hit level 80, like I did on my other character, that's why you see the giant whale floating around. But with that, the next trait that we want to install is Work Slave. Work Slave is going to increase the pal's work speed by 30%, Serious by 20%. Spirit Emperor, we don't really need it, but we're going to go ahead and add one more trait, which is going to be Insomnia. Now this is going to turn your pals into vampires. They're going to work 24/7. So once we get that on there, she's now able to go ahead and plant and harvest and deliver the materials from the farm. All we have to do is simply go back and drop her back into rotation, and she's good to go. Now with that, you can see that she's gonna have a specific trait on her, and if we go under this, we can see that she has now adopted the trait of Sleepless. That means she's going to work 24/7. With that, you need a few things in place. You need hot tubs. Hot tubs are going to go ahead and restore sanity. You're also going to need that pizza that we talked about earlier, because pizza is a good one for returning sanity back to the pal. Sanity, when it is low, it'll cause them to get sick, depressed, or develop eating disorders, or break bones, or get lacerations. It'll do all sorts of things. Basically, the lower the sanity, the more reckless your pal's going to be around the base, and they're going to get hurt. So you want to prevent that by providing them an outlet when they do need to take breaks. And they will go ahead and take those breaks to feed themselves, to get sanity back, and just basically to take a break. With that, we have the other thing, which is your pal condenser over here, which you can make these pals even better by condensing your pals into one another, as we can go ahead and do this with V-Guard. You're going to notice that his skills on the current tasks there are kind of sitting at a low stature. By stacking more of these pals and meeting the threshold, right, what's going to happen is you have the opportunity to increase those work stats. So as you can see here, this one is going to get, which is for the ranching, it's going to get a bonus. We're going to begin condensing, and with that we have a pal that has level 4 ranching here, as this one is level 3. You're going to increase those skill types beyond books. Books you can use to increase those different affinities as well. As you can see, this guy is a jack of all trades, but we got one to level up here. So that's one way to go ahead and increase the proficiency of your pals. And with that, I highly recommend that you guys start thinking about making minestrone, which adds to the work speed, especially if you're going to be doing assembly line. But for pizza right now, it's pretty good. You will probably end up making tens and tens of thousands of salads to sell so that you can buy the surgeries for some of those heavy hitting rainbow traits down the road. Again, with the ancient relic recycler, you're going to get access to a lot of implants. It's really important that you have the money in order to go ahead and install those on your pals and formulate your own powerhouse of a manufacturing base. Okay guys, with that, that's been my video. Thank you very much for sharing your time with me. I know it was a long one, but hey, you guys got everything that I know inside of my brain cage. Like, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you all in the next one. Have a good night. Bye bye.